So this is going to be your Unit 3 review. So make sure you have your notebook or a copy of this that you've printed so you can take good notes and then come to tutorials if you have any questions. So the first one says, what is the slope-intercept form of a linear equation? Remember that for all of these formulas, you have a formula chart that's on Canvas that you could use at any time you need it. And so it says, what is the slope-intercept form? Well, it's y equals mx plus b. What is the standard form? It's going to be ax plus by equals c. The point slope form, y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Slope formula is m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Rate of change is the same thing as slope. So all of those are vocab type things that you'll need to know for the test. All right, so now what keystrokes help you enter a fraction in the calculator? So to enter a fraction in the calculator, remember we use alpha, y equals, enter. Then that gives you the two boxes in fraction form that you can enter a fraction. So I want you to enter the fraction 16 over 100 in the calculator and convert it. It says reduce it to the lowest terms. And so that's going to be you use alpha, y equals enter, 16 on top, 100 on bottom, and you get 4 over 25. That's reduced to the lowest terms. Okay, what keystrokes have you converted decimal to a fraction? You hit math, enter, enter. Okay. Then I want you to enter the decimal 0.4 in the calculator, and we will make it into a fraction. So you hit 0.4, enter, and then we hit math, enter, enter, and it turns it to 2/5. Now I want to remind everyone that you have a calculator on your Chromebook. You have the ability to download a calculator for a free 90-day trial from TI. And then also you have the apps, the Wabbit app or the 84Calc app on iPhone or Android that you can download also. You can do these in Desmos, but the TI-84 is a little bit easier to do this simple math. All right, what keystroke do we use to clear the calculator? We're going to use second. We're going to use second plus 7, 1, 2. So second plus 7, 1, 2. All right, what keystrokes help you to write an equation in the calculator? All right, to write an equation in the calculator, you're going to hit Stat, Edit. You enter all the points in L1 and L2. Then you're going to hit Stat, the right arrow key. Remember, if it's linear, we're going to do 4 for linear regression. And then we're going to enter 5 times. Okay, enter 5 times. All right. All of these things we went over in the videos, and we went over in class as well if you were in class. All right, so they want us to enter the points 216 and 424 in the calculator. So you're going to hit Stat Edit. You're going to enter 2 and 4 under the L1, 16 and 24 under L2. And then you're going to hit Stat Right 4, enter, enter, enter. And you're going to find out that the rate of change is 4. That's your slope. The y-intercept is 8. Remember, we use y equals mx plus b. And so you're going to get y equals 4x plus 8. What keystrokes allow you to enter an equation and see a graph? You enter the equation by using y equals, and then you push graph. What keystrokes allow you to enter an equation and see the table? Remember, you're going to use y equals, and then we hit second, the blue button, graph. What is the y-intercept of y equal 1/2 x minus 9? The y-intercept would be -9. What's the y-intercept of the graph of this? It's going to be 2. Remember, it doesn't matter which order they're written in. The y-intercept is going to be the number by itself when it's in slope-intercept form. What is the slope of this graph? Find the x, right? It's going to be 4/7. What is the slope of the graph here? Find the x. It's going to be -9/11. They want you to write an equation in slope-intercept form that has this slope and this y-intercept. So that would be, remember, y equals mx plus b. So you're going to have y equals, my m is my slope. So that's -3/4 x. And my y-intercept is b, so it's going to be +7. Write the equation of a line that has a rate of change of 5 and a y-intercept of 8. Once again, it's going to be y equals, my m is my slope, or also called rate of change. So that's going to be 5x, y equal mx, plus my y-intercept, which is 8. Write the equation of a line that has a slope of -1/2, y-intercept of 2. That's going to be y equals -1/2 x plus 2. Y equals mx plus b. M is your slope, b is your y-intercept. They want to know the slope of this line. This one on the test always gets students because you have to remember you have to get y by itself. I can't see the slope right now in this, but if I take this equation and we do what we learned in, what we reviewed in chapter 1, you would get rid of the x first. Now you have 6y equals 4x plus 24. And then we divide everybody. And so now we have y equals, this can reduce to 2/3x plus 4. Use that calculator to help you. And so now you can see that the slope is going to be 2/3. So m is equal to 2/3. Right? All right. So general rule, if you're not in slope-intercept form, in other words, if the y is not by itself, you need to get the y by itself. Okay, same thing on this. I want to know the rate of change. That's the same thing as slope. And so I'm going to get rid of the x first. Bring down the -9y. These don't go together. And so we have 4x plus 18. Then we divide everybody by -9. And so we get y is equal to -4/9x minus 2, right? 18 divided by -9. Use your calculator. That's simple math so you don't make mistakes. And so my rate of change in this case would be a -4/9. All right, remember when you do word problems, you read it first, then you translate symbols. So let me change pen colors here. Let's go with green. All right, Johnny works at a gumball factory. He can package 150 gumballs per hour. He's already packaged 500. Write an equation that represents this, okay? And so now we know it's going to be in the form of y equal mx plus b. And so I'm going to, I guess that's blue, huh? So which one of these numbers is a slope? Which one's a rate of change or a y-intercept? So a slope is when you look for the keyword per, because it's going to change according to something else. And so since I know this is the word per, this is going to be my m. And the one-time thing, if he's already done 500, that just happens once, that's going to be your b. And so it's going to be y is equal to 150x plus b. Sally owns a painting company. She charges $35 for each hour she paints plus an initial setup fee. If Sally paints for 7 hours and charges $295, how much is her initial fee? So let's think about y equal mx plus b. And she charges $35 for each hour. That's your keyword. That means this is my slope. And so I know I'm going to have y equals 35x plus b. We don't know what the initial setup fee is, but they are telling us what our y and our x are. So it's going to be x number of hours, and the total is going to be our y, the 295. So we're going to plug those in. We're going to get 295 equals 35 times the number of hours, which is 7, plus the setup fee, which we don't know what that is. So when we take 35 times 7, we get 245. So now we have 295 equals 245 plus b. We're just solving the equation. and now we subtract 245. And so B is equal to $50 setup fee. And we talked about if you know a point and you know a slope, but you don't know the y-intercept, remember we plug everything in and then we solve for y. And that's what this equation is asking us to do. Remember, anytime you're dealing with any type of math, they have to give you all the variables except for the one. And then you're going to have to find that one. So down here, they gave us everything. They gave us y, m, and x. They didn't give us b. So then we have to look for the b. So you got to keep that organized. All right, so write the equation of this line. To write the equation, we need an m and we need a b. And so my b is going to be right here. If I start at 0, it's -3. Then we're going to pick 2 points on that line. They need to be good points that cross in the middle. And you do rise over run. So this one, it looks like it's going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's a -7. And then we're going to go to the right 3. So it's -7 over 3. Now to write the equation, it's just going to be y is equal to -7/3 x minus 3. It says write a linear equation in 2 variables for the graph that can be used to represent y, the cost of children's tickets, and x, the cost of adults. So same thing. You're still going to need m equals and you're still going to need b equals, right? And so my b is going to be right here at 140. And then we're going to use 2 points. I'm just going to use these 2 right here. And my rise over run, I'm going to go down. I didn't go down 2. Remember, watch your how much is going each one's going by. And so 140 to 120 would be -20. And then it looks like we're going over how much? 0 to 10. So that's going to be 10. And so my slope is a -20 over 10, which will reduce to -2. So now just write your equation. Y is equal to -2x plus 140. All right, write the linear equation in 2 variables for the graph that can be used to represent y, the number of Brussels sprouts eaten, and x, the number of ice creams. Doesn't matter, still the same thing. We're going to start with our y-intercept. Our y-intercept is 0. Now we're going to find our slope. Pick 2 good points. So this time I went up how much? Not 2. I went up 10. And then I went to the right, not 2. I went across 6. So 10 over 6 is equal to 5 over 3. So when we write our equation, it'd be y equals 5 over 3x plus 0. But we don't need that 0, so we can just write y equals 5/3 x. Okay? This one wants us to write the equation of a line in slope-intercept form that has a rate of change of 1/2 and passes through this point. So you need to ask yourself, what are they not giving me? Well, they're not giving me the b. And so I'm going to take the formula I know, y equal mx plus b. I'm going to fill in everything I do know. This is my x, this is my y, this is my m. And so my y is -18. My m is 1/2. My x is 2. And then we just simplify this down. So -18, I can't do anything. Half of 2 is 1. And then I'm subtracting 1 from both sides. I'm going to get b is equal to -19. And so now I know my m and my b. I can write my equation. So I'm going to get y equals 1/2 x minus 19. All right, I want you to find the slope as a rate of change. So you can use StatEdit if you have the TI-84 calculator. It's the fastest way. Or you can do the slope formula. So slope formula, remember I'm going to do x1, y1, x2, y2. And I'm going to put it into the formula y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And so I'm going to get 30 minus 15 over 16 minus 34. And then we reduce that down. You're going to get 15 over a negative, use your calculator, 16 minus 34 is a -18. And then reduce that down even further, but 3 will go into both. And so you end up with a -5 over 6 as your slope. Same thing on this one. We would get our slope is a -6 minus 14 over -7 minus 9. That's a -20 over a -16, which reduces down to -10 over -8. We can get rid of the negatives now. It's going to be 5 over 4. Okay, this next one, another practice one. we're going to do 9 minus 9 over negative 21 minus negative 18. 9 minus 9 is 0. That turns to plus. You get negative 3. 0 divided by negative 3 is 0. That's a 0 slope. This one, you're going to get negative 6 minus 4 over 4 minus 4. That gives you negative 10 over 0. Division by 0 is impossible, and so this is an undefined slope. Remember, these two, you need to memorize which one is which. Use your calculator. If you get an error, you know that it is not going to be possible, and so that's going to be undefined. What is the rate of change on the tables? I went minus 4. Here I went minus 3. Minus 4, minus 3. Remember, you do y over x. So it's going to be negative 4 over negative 3, which is 4/3. This table, the same way. We're going to go up 3, up 2. We have a common pattern. And so it's going to be 3 over 2 is my slope. All right, slope of parallel lines. The slope of a line parallel to this is going to be the same, so it's going to be 2/5. The slope of a line parallel to this is the same. It's going to be negative 7. Slope of a line perpendicular, remember we take it, we flip it, and change the sign. Perpendicular, remember this is 9 over 1. We're going to flip it, and we're going to change the sign. Parallel lines have same slopes. Perpendicular lines have negative reciprocal slopes. Right, the equation line that's perpendicular to the one that's graphed here, so we're going to have to find the slope first. And so I'm going to pick these 2 points. I'm going to go up 2 and to the right 3. So the slope of this line is 2/3. So the negative reciprocal, we flip it and change the sign. And then we're going to use this point, 3/8, to write the equation. So we're going to use our point slope form. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. We plug in everything we know. So we're going to do y minus, this is my y, 8, equals my slope, which is negative 3 over 2, times x minus my x value, which is 3. And then simplify it down. Distribute. Y minus 8 is equal to negative 3 over 2x. Negative times a negative is a positive, and this gives you 9 over 2. And then we're going to add 8 to both sides. And we're going to go y equals negative 3 over 2x. And then use your calculator on this. And so use alpha y equal enter. And put 9 on top, 2 on bottom. And then multiply that, or add 8 to that. And you're going to get 25 over 2, which reduces to 12.5. And there's your equation of slope-intercept form. Okay, so we're going to do one more parallel. I'm going to save the rest of those because I want you to be able to do them for practice and come to tutorials if you need help on those. And so my slope of this one is 2 over 1. If it's parallel, then it means same. So once again, we're going to go y minus 10 equals 2 times x minus 3. We're going to distribute. You get y minus 10 equals 2x minus 6. And then we're going to add 10 to both sides. So we're going to get y equals 2x plus 4. So you have 2 examples of a parallel and perpendicular. So I want to save that last one there so that you can work it, come to tutorials if you need help. So write the equation of a line in slope-intercept form that's parallel to the x-axis and passes through the point 3, 10. Well, if you go 1, 2, 3, and then up here to 10, there's the point. And then he's parallel to the x-axis, goes through the y at 10, so it's going to be y equals 10. Write the equation of a line that is perpendicular to the x-axis, goes through 310. Here's 310. And so it's going to be perpendicular to the x-axis. This is your x. This is perpendicular. It's going to go through the x at 3. So x equals 3. Write the equation in the line slope-intercept form that's parallel to the y-axis. Remember, they can ask you all the ways. So this is negative 2. Negative 2, negative 8. It's going to be down here. Negative 2, negative 8. And it's going to be parallel to the y. That means it's going to go straight up and down. This is your y. This is parallel. It goes through the x-axis at negative 2. And now we've got this one, same thing. So we're going to do perpendicular to the y-axis. Here's the y-axis. Here's -2, -8. And to be perpendicular to the y, it would have to go across. It's going through the y at -8. All right, the last one is a direct variation. And so 65 gallons of water for 5 loads of dishes is the same thing as how much water for 12 loads. Cross multiply, you're going to get 5x equals 65 times 12 is 780. And then you divide both sides by 5, and you get x is equal to 156. Okay, so there's a lot on this test. I would prepare for it by practicing some of these and checking your answers. Also, make sure you come to tutorials and ask any questions about anything that you don't understand as we went through these lessons. You guys can do this. You're going to do great as long as you practice and take care of what you need to take care of. Remember that if you need help, I am available. Come get the help. All right.